Feasting is not something God made for us. It's what God made us for. The Bible's story begins in Eden, a place where a burgeoning humanity exists in perfect relationship, untarnished by shame and selfishness. A place where God is present, walking with his people, talking with his people, in communion with his people. A place where ripe, fresh fruit hangs heavy from trees, where humanity can be sustained and revel in the beauty and flavor of God's generous provision. God's people, in community with each other, in communion with him, enjoying his tangible, generous, life-sustaining provision. People, God, and food. Feasting, as far as the Bible is concerned. Our appetizer tonight is inspired by two culinary thematic biblical visions of what Eden restored might be like. A place where everyone will sit under their own vine and fig tree, and a land flowing with milk and honey. We have artisan crackers with whipped goat's cheese, two choices of balsamic roasted grapes or sliced fig, and a drizzle of honey. Please enjoy. Feasting with God brings life, but in his absence, it brings death. Sin enters the world through a bite of food. People break communion with God to step over his good, loving boundaries to define the parameters of the feast ourselves. Eden's feast was beautiful, rooted in truth and bringing life. And now it's been interrupted. Ugly, rooted in lies and bringing death. So allow me to interrupt our feasts this evening with a bizarre entree. Before you all came tonight, I asked you what little guilty pleasure you might indulge in from the supermarket if given the chance. And I've gone and purchased exactly those items for each of you. So Diana, if you want to grab the bag. Now, chocolate is not sinful and indeed can be part of a feast. However, with some generalizations, I think these foil-wrapped treats can offer a decent illustration for this narrative point in the story. We don't choose them because they are life-sustaining and healthy. We choose them because they look good to us. We don't automatically view them as a gift from God. We use them as a way to escape or distract us from boredom or exhaustion. And we don't eat them in community, we eat them by ourselves. The fall of humanity replayed in miniature, the antithesis of biblical feasting. But tonight we are feasting, so please enjoy your indulgence of choice in a spirit of gratitude with one another.
I love it.
After humanity is cast out from the Feast of Eden, the narrative thrust of the Bible becomes God working to restore people to himself, to rebuild their relationships with him and with each other so that they can experience and enjoy the life and beauty he offers. In other words, that they might feast again. The regular feasts of Israel function as a way of restoring Eden, building hope for God's coming kingdom and forming their community and identity as God's people. In some ways, they are the whole point of the Old Testament law. The rules and systems which allowed people to be in right relationship with God and each other are there to facilitate the feasts. God's people, with him, experiencing his life and provision. For our third course tonight, rather than honing in on a specific Old Testament feast, I instead wanted to think about the nature of feasting during this period of Scripture. How much more decadent and expensive is feasting than the day-to-day experience of eating? In Deuteronomy 14, there is a little-known command where God tells his people to set aside 10% of their agricultural produce or income each year for the express purpose of feasting. To put that into perspective for us, the median Australian church of 50 people, all earning the median income of $70,000, would collectively have $350,000 per year to spend on feasting. Try and picture for a second what it would be like to enjoy over $250,000 worth of food each year with your church community. That's what feasting was like for the people of Israel. And it's a shadow of what feasting was in Eden and will be like in the coming kingdom. With our second entree, I've tried to capture something of the experience of decadent fancy food without it actually being stupidly expensive. So we have a baked side of salmon topped with a pine nut saffron tapenade. Please enjoy. Israel is never truly able to restore the Feast of Eden. Again and again, they replay the mistakes of their forebears, interrupting the feast when they try to take hold of life without God. A gluttonous desire for something that seems good to them, compromising their relationship with God and one another in order to have it. Israel is exiled. They return a small remnant. But God's feast is still on offer. He wants us to enjoy it, so he brings it to us. Jesus of Nazareth comes eating and drinking, bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth around countless tables in first century Palestine. Sitting with his friends the night before his death, he explains to them that, in fact, he is about to become the feast, the bread his body and the wine his blood. The next day, he offers his life for us. God's generous gift of life-sustaining fruit from the trees of Eden becomes the gift of Jesus' body hanging on the wooden cross. The temple curtain tears. We're allowed back to the Eden feast. After he returns from death and ascends into heaven, Jesus' followers meet up every Sunday to participate in God's feast together. They eat their fill of bread and wine and other delicious offerings, for most of them the best meal they'd eat all week. This love feast, as it's called, becomes a tangible experience of their restored communion with God and an enacted form of fellowship. God's people, in community with each other, in communion with him, enjoying the riches of his tangible, generous, life-sustaining provision. Which is exactly what we are doing tonight. People, God, and food. The Eden feast. The love feast. The Lord's Supper. We do this in remembrance of him. Tonight we have a modern riff on the Passover, which Jesus transformed the night before his death. We've got some pulled lamb, bread, wine, and some other accoutrements that turn this into a proper meal. So please enjoy. The feast is now, and the feast is not yet. When God's people gather to break bread, we are truly feasting in the kingdom. But the feast always comes to an end. The toil of life outside the garden is inevitable. And so we eagerly await the day when God restores all things to himself, brings everything under the reign of Jesus, the bridegroom, whose wedding feast we are all invited to. After all, we're the bride. In anticipation of the wedding day, I have prepared a tasting flight of wedding cake flavors. The wedding has not happened yet, so this is not the real deal, but it's a taste of what might be, and our final course tonight. So please enjoy.